Welcome to yet another edition of Cocktails and Classics. This week, we continue our April Fool's Day trek with a traditional classic from 2012, the low-budget animated feature, Foodfight.
No. It's not low budget. Whoever told you it was low budget was lying to you.
I'm sorry.
Mistake.
I could see how you could think that it was low budget.
Highly budgeted cast and low-budgeted animation film.
Yes.
Food
I think
Fight.
I read that the budget for this movie is like $50 million.
Yeah, it was very expensive.
45.
Okay.
Anyways, the term millions was up for grabs, and you wouldn't know that by watching it.
No.
IMDb says it was an estimated $65 million.
Spent?
Yeah, for budget.
Wow.
The cumulative worldwide gross was $120,000.
Oh, God.
I wonder if that takes into
Studio
account
lost.
YouTube revenue.
They lost their ass on this movie.
Oh, I'm sure. I wonder if they were able to, how much money they got back from insurance, I guess is what I'm wondering, from filing our film was stolen type of police report.
This guy literally also co-founded Lightstorm Entertainment with James Cameron, and then he went on to start to start Threshold Entertainment and just shat all over it himself.
He thought it was going to be huge, too.
Yeah, I was just telling them before. I'm going to post this New York Times article because it's actually really interesting. He thought, I was telling them before, when you were gone or whatever, but he thought this was going to make them the next Pixar.
Boy, was he right.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Turns out we're still waiting on the next Pixar.
All right. So today, I have a very cool drink for you all. This one's nice because it's super... Can I help you?
Very cool drink, sir.
It's got a very awesome color. This one's nice because you only really need a couple of things. Water. You need some ice cube trays in a freezer. A blender. Some beer. And, of course, hot dogs.
That's 6 things, man.
But these are all household items. So, maybe not the hot dogs. You might have to go get that. So
Maybe not
what
the
you're going to do
ice
is you're gonna boil the hot dogs, enough to cook them.
To get that sweet hot dog broth.
Hot dog broth. We're going to make a nice soup.
All right, so what you do is you cook the hot dogs, all right? Cook them for a couple, I don't know how long it takes to boil hot dogs, but you boil them, all right?
Depends on where you are
Then
regionally.
you throw out all the hot dogs except for a couple. Take the water,
How many?
and then you pour that into the ice cube trays.
I feel like this could be a lot more scientific. What you want is hot dog broth. At the
No,
end
this
of
is
it.
hot dog water.
more like a
all right?
brine.
No, this is hot dog water. Okay, so you put the hot dog water, cool it down, so you don't want to melt your ice cube trays.
Of
The
course.
ice cube trays. Put them in the freezer for a bit. Then when they're frozen over, you take them out, put them in the blender, put your favorite beer in the blender, and blend it all up. All right? So this is going to be the base of the drink. All right? Next, you're going to take ketchup and mustard. Put them in a circle on a plate. And you're going to take a martini glass and put it upside down. This should be very similar to doing a margarita with salt,
But with ketchup and mustard.
Yeah, so ketchup and mustard. And so now with your glass in hand, you're going to take your blended up hot dog water cocktail and put it in the glass. Now the final step to this perfect cocktail is you're going to take one of those hot dogs you set to the side earlier. You're going to stick a straw through it and pull it out, making a hole all the way through the hot dog. And now you have a hot dog straw to enjoy your hot dog beverage.
Oh my god.
I feel like you're forgetting the pickle spear garnish.
I mean, that's optional. I think if you want to go for the pickled speared garnish, I think that's good. So yeah, what did you guys think of this? What do you like about this cocktail?
It reminds me of my favorite Limp Bizkit album. Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water.
Yeah,
It's like
pretty
if you
salty.
It's like if
but-
you hate ballpark food but only wanted to drink it instead.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially with the beer combo too.
Yeah, it's fitting for opening day of baseball season.
Make sure you
feel
pick a
like,
good beer when you do this too. You can't do PBR. You have to do a nice full-bodied beer. Really
Get a
the
nice
flavor of it.
hot dog water and like a nice chocolate stout. Really mix the flavors.
Don't cheap out on your hot dogs.
Maybe
either.
a lager.
Don't get great value. You want some nice all beef Franks.
Yeah.
Unless you're a vegetarian, I guess, like me. So you just veggie dog.
Yeah, you could do that. So yeah, give us, if you try the hot dog water cocktail, let us know what your thoughts are. And
It's
if
a
you like it or
broth.
not.
It's boiled meat. It's a broth.
Is hot dog water a broth? Let us know. Okay, comment on our
That's our next
socials.
podcast. Is hot dog water a broth? That's gonna be the name of our next podcast.
Go ahead and post that on our socials. Let us know if it's a broth or not.
At Cocktails and Classic Spot
Yeah.
on Instagram. Send us pictures.
Yeah. Send us pictures of you enjoying the hot dog water cocktail.
The hot dog straw looks disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. Something
It
about
takes
like
a
a
lot
hot
of-
dog.
It goes
with a
so
hole
well
in
with Food Fight, though. Like it's hot dogs. It's a food movie. It's perfect.
It
It
takes
looks
a good amount
disgusting.
of coordination, though.
Both are terrifying and make you not want to ever think about either of them again. It's great.
Food Fight is
Wow,
one
really?
that I had never heard of going in. Ben found this somehow.
Someone told me about it. I don't remember who, but someone told me about it. I think it might have been my brother.
I believe that.
It's a 2011. Originally was supposed to be 2003
Something like that,
animated film. Currently sits at a 1.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Surprisingly is not on the worst movie list.
What, really? Just must not have enough ratings.
Yeah, it's just not well known enough.
Yeah, it's only got like 9,000 reviews.
That's the problem. It belongs there.
Directed by Lawrence Kasanoff. Written by Lawrence Kasanoff and Joshua Wexler. Stars Charlie Sheen, Hilary Duff, Eva Longoria, Wayne Brady, Christopher Llyod, Chris Kattan, Larry Miller, Edward Asner, Jerry Stiller, Christine Baranski, Cloris Leachman, Haley Duff. And if you think, wow, what an amazing cast, don't let that fool you.
It doesn't translate. Yeah. This is like peak mid-2000s like movie cast, and it doesn't translate at all.
It's the story of the evil Brand X, who joins the supermarket that becomes a city after closing time. That's all that IMDb gives us for this.
To be honest, that's all you kind of need.
That's about right, yeah.
There's no way you can actually, describe... there's no synopsis for this movie. There's no plot to this movie. How can you have a synopsis of it?
Well, it's also hard to have a synopsis when, you're looking at one thing 1 second, and then in the next frame, you're in a completely different spot with the same characters.
Or, what I will say is on top of that, on top of the same characters, sometimes you completely see the same scene over and over again.
Yeah.
So let's dig into this. To start, it's so bad. I can't overstate how bad this movie is. It's impossible. It is so bad. I'm going to say a controversial statement, maybe. I enjoyed the Star Wars Christmas special more than this movie. I enjoyed watching it more than I enjoyed watching this.
This movie is the greatest project to ever come out of an 8th grade classroom.
Unfortunately, for the people who made this movie, it actually cost $50 million. And the people that made it thought that this movie was going to make them into the next Pixar. And it did not do that.
So the film was originally completed in 2003, and then the hard drives or the storage system that it was on at the time was stolen, and so having already invested all this money, they reanimated the film, and you can tell it's a rushed mess.
Look, I studied animation in college. They barely animated that.
Yeah, it's when did they decide to rush it? In early 2011?
They had someone on that staff that was like, hey, we need this by tomorrow. And they went, okay. And then they sat around until 4:30. And were like, oh shit, I need to start this rendering so it's ready by tomorrow. And then they did 20 minutes of animating, which meant they they didn't move arms or legs. It was just like, I'll just move this whole body around and it'll look okay. Like that should be good enough.
Just straight T-posing.
And then it was like, all right, well, we got it. We got to render it, and just hit the button. Also, I wonder like if there were times that people just didn't have fully rigged characters. So let's get technical. For those who don't know, a rigged character is basically, to rig a 3D model is basically to give it a skeleton, to turn it from like a 3D shell into what you would expect, almost like a claymation puppet, where it's got the wireframe all over so you can move all of the joints and everything. Some of these shots look like they just received the shell of the model and were like, here, do something with this. And they went to click and move something, and the whole thing just moved. And they were like, well, I guess we'll just move the whole thing. He's gonna fall out of the sky. Yeah, can you make him like flail? No. Well, I mean, just make him fall. I guess it's fine. We'll fix it. And they never did.
Make him splat before he actually hits the ground.
Man.
Every single one of the rats at the beginning.
Make the ball stop on top of the weasel for like a quick 30 seconds, and then we'll drop it the rest of the way.
With the chain still under tension.
Okay, so wait. There's a lot more to this story. Lawrence Kasanoff and a Threshold Entertainment employee, Joshua Lexer, created the concept in 1999. A $25 million joint investment into the project was made by Threshold and the Korean investment company Natural Image, with the producers expecting that foreign pre-sales and loans against the sales would provide the remaining portion of the budget. The estimated remainder was $50 million. Kasanoff also decided to produce and direct the film despite having no prior experience in the animation field. The film was created and produced by the Digital Effects Shop at Threshold, located in Santa Monica. December of 2002, Kasanoff reported that hard drives containing most unfinished assets from the film had been stolen in what he called an act of industrial espionage, and an incredibly complex crime. An investigation, which included the United States Secret Service, was unable to find the thief. The film was supposed to be computer animated with an exaggerated use of squash and stretch to resemble the Looney Tunes shorts, but after production resumed in 2004, Kasanoff changed its style to more centered in motion capture, with the result being that he and the animators were speaking two different languages. Lionsgate established a distribution deal, and the financing company StoryArc represented investors who gave $20 million in funding to Threshold in 2005 due to the Lionsgate deal, the celebrity voice actors, and the product tie-ins. A release date in 2005 was later announced, but missed. Another distribution deal was struck in 2007. Again, nothing came. Lionsgate had a negative reaction to the delays. The investors had grown impatient due to the film company defaulting on its secured promissory note and the release dates that were not met. And then it went to auction in 2011, and they sold all the assets off for $2.5 million.
Part of the reason I think why this movie is ultimately so bad and so unfinished is because StoryArc, okay, they essentially were able to invoke a clause giving their insurance company, for Fireman's Fund, which is the thing you see at the end of the credits, the right to step in and complete the film as quickly and cheaply as possible. So they literally gave the insurance company the right to just get it out the door and just finish it up as cheaply as humanly possible.
Cash in so we can get the insurance claim.
They didn't even finish the movie.
I mean, they technically did. Technically.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this was the sequel to a movie that should have happened. We need a prequel to Foodfight to understand how Sunshine and Dex got so close.
And then at some point they obtained the rights, the full copyright to Foodfight, the insurance company still, by the way, and eventually sold it to Walmart after they could assure good display placement.
We have a $5 bin in our stores sold.
So they released the movie on DVD and released also plushes, toys, and also books. And then this was the result.
Dude, if you look up Foodfight on YouTube, 1, you can find the movie. 2, the movie is the first thing that comes up, but it only has like 50,000 views. The next two things combined have like 19 million views, which is like 19 million more views than Foodfight has, and they're reviews of the movie.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where it's more entertaining to watch other people and listen to other people talk about the movie than it is to actually watch the movie.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, it turns out.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a market for us, boys. Finally!
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I guess there was a negative review, like negative thought process because none of the people up in Europe or in other parts of the world recognized like Mr. Clean and Charlie Tuna. And so they were like, guys, we'll just edit and animate localized
Oh my
icons into
Whoa.
the movie. And then every part of the world will have their own brands in the movie. And that never came because obviously it's a piece of junk.
I mean, also that would be super expensive.
That seems like something you could do today for a decent price, but like...
Why?
Right. Was anyone asking for that?
Also,
Like,
today I learned that the mascot of like the Star-Kissed Tuna guy's name is Charlie. Didn't know that till today.
Also, I learned that he doesn't exist in other countries.
Yeah, don't they have tuna in other countries?
It is the chicken of the sea.
Oh, what a great joke, Dylan.
This movie sucks. This might actually be the worst thing I've ever watched in my life.
No, I'll concur. I think this is the worst thing I've ever watched in my life. I think it's there.
So you go to IMDb, you go to the official Foodfight page, and if you scroll down with the new IMDb design, they show you user lists of like, here's the top user lists that have this movie in it. Number 1 is called Terrible Movies. Number 2 is called Worst Movies I've Ever Seen. Number 3 is called Worst Movies of all time. Number 4 is called There Is No Mercy.
There is no God.
And the last one is called Worst Movies Ever.
I concur.
Hold on. I've never noticed this user list. Okay, terrible movies. I want to see what else is on here. Food Fight is number 1 on the list order.
Oh,
Garbage Pail Kids movie. Freddy Got Fingered. Son of the Mask.
Son of the Mask!
Halloween 5.
Dude, I remember trailers when Son of the Mask came
The
out.
Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. I mean, not that it was great, but worst movie of all time? Come on.
No. There's 2 Halloween movies on here that you have to be really scarred. You have to be like a diehard Halloween fan to hate these movies.
He has a bunch
Rob
of Thomas
Zombie
the
ones?
Tank Engine movies on this list. Like, so many Thomas the Tank Engine movies.
Like 10 through 20.
I feel like this movie would have been like a great 5-minute video that you run on loop at a supermarket just in the background as noise.
Yeah.
Because it was basically like a vessel that they were like, let's cram as many puns, movie reference, food puns, just in your face brand whoring, and we're just gonna deposit that right into your cranium, straight through your eye sockets.
But see, Dylan, here's the issue with that, is that A, it was aimed at kids.
And it was overtly sexual.
And B,
aimed at kids.
5 minutes is not nearly enough time to establish brand loyalty. And you gotta have a full hour and a half to do that. You can't just expect the kids to go to the store and look at that jar of Vlasic's pickles and be like, oh, I recognize that stork from the funny video if it's only 5 minutes long. No. But if you do an hour and a half movie and you show that Vlasic's pickle stork for a total of 5 seconds, they're going to recognize him. That's what this movie is all about.
Did we give the IMDb like aggregate like the score, the review of this movie?
The 1.5 out of 10.
That's bad.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
That's real bad.
What's crazy? Okay, so I looked at that and then I clicked on user reviews. There are so many meme 10s.
Oh, of course. These types of movies are always going to get meme 10s. There's actually
like a shit ton.
There are 2,600 10s and there are 5,400 1s.
Here's the thing. I couldn't even give this a meme 10. Like,
No.
No.
I could
there are better
understand the
memes.
room. I could understand the room being like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
this was very entertaining movie and like, haha, greatest movie ever, Mark. Haha. This one, no. Like, I didn't even come out of it being like, there was a point where the movie made me serious laugh. Besides the one
was
scene in
one.
the credits
Yes, there was
where
one
she's
scene.
like, let me see what's under that hat, and pulls off his
another
hat to reveal another hat.
But that wasn't even a serious laugh. That was a laugh because of the absurdity of how stupid it was. And also, I think that also just came from the joy of seeing the fact that we were in the end credits. We were
I
in
was
the end game
celebrating
now,
there.
Tony. We were in the end game.
Wow. All right. So this 10 out of 10 review is the greatest animation since Spirited Away.
Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Mr. Clean shines as a recovering drug addict in this dramatic depiction of Charlie Sheen's horrible addiction. Known only for the Mr. Clean commercials, Mr. Clean certainly does not need to clean up on any acting. The balding man shines brighter than his head, reflected by the moonlit sky. Hilary Duff, played by the fantastic Lizzie McGuire, is fantastic
Oh my
as
God.
Sheen's porn star daughter. I won't spoil it, but there's a fantastic appearance by Vanilla Ice with a great comic relief that had me in tears laughing.
No.
Don't miss out on this one. Greatest food fight since Max Keeble's Big Move.
No.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jumping in point. Fun fact, the principal in Max Keebler's Big Move is Larry Miller, who voiced the vampire bat, who was
Vlad
obsessed with
Dracul.
Vlad. Yes. What a tie-in. What
Wow,
a
that's
tie-in. I
amazing.
wonder if he knew what he was doing.
Speaking of the chocolate vampire, how about all the racist and homophobic imagery?
There was a
It's
lot
bad.
of it.
It's
There
bad.
was a lot of both.
Wayne Brady's character is
Racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia. Like, this is awful for a kids movie. I mean, for any movie, but like a kids movie specifically, even.
I understand that Charlie Sheen did this movie.
Complete Nazi imagery?
Yeah, the Nazis too. Like, it's literally not. They are literally Nazis.
They're
They have like
Nazis, yeah.
the full. They have the Nazi salute basically.
Yeah, the
they have
eagle
the Third
thing.
Reich eagle. It's bad. Like, they are literally. It's obvious, and they literally also like take undesirables to the. What do they call the places that
the
they wanted to take them
expiration
to?
chamber.
Yeah, like what is? Come on, like that's not okay. Like for any movie, let alone a goddamn kids movie.
So there were a lot of celebrities that flat out were like, no, I wasn't a part of that. But it's like, yeah, you were.
Yeah,
It's like they're denying it. But like, how do you let yourself be a part of this thing? Like,
Here's
Eva
my
Longoria,
question,
like,
though.
you're gonna give this speech on top of like a tower. Like, oh, cool, but there are like these dope birds
so
around me, right?
here's the interesting thing that is kind of weird about the like animation. They could have voiced all these lines not knowing that they were going to have Nazi paraphernalia there. Like, you could read this entire movie without any Nazi stuff at all, but they
Yeah.
chose to put them like
Well, I mean,
all
that's
in there.
that's
I
the
guess
thing.
so.
You've also got to figure, like, they start doing what they're probably doing. This movie was originally intended to come out in 2002,
Yeah.
so Toy Story had already come out when they're doing pre-production on this. Charlie Sheen's probably looking, being like, "Holy shit, these guys are gonna do something like Toy Story, but like with all this other tie-in stuff. Like, great, yeah, I'll do it for the money. Sweet, awesome." Like, everyone probably thought that, went in, read the script, and was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool."
Sounds
Did the
good.
did the lines, and then like never heard anything. Charlie Sheen probably did so much cocaine that he probably doesn't even remember that this exists. You could probably be like, "Oh, Charlie, I loved you in Food Fight." He'd be like, "What movie? In what movie did I have a food fight? I don't remember anything like that."
Dude, what would it cost us? What would it cost us to do a cameo with Charlie Sheen for like an hour and a half and watch
I'll look it up.
this
Not
movie
that
he was
long.
in?
You definitely can't get it for that long, but I think he's on there.
If it was like $1,000, we'd have to crowdsource it.
Could we do it just to get him to do only Food Fight quotes, though?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a
Give
spam.
us spam.
But
To be
Yeah,
fair, a lot of them were
okay.
spam memes.
like, so many of those actors probably went in, did the voiceover, and then forgot it even existed. And then in 2012, they're like, "We're coming out with this movie, and it stars Charlie Sheen." Hillary Duff and Eva Longoria, and they're all like, wait, what?
Don't forget about Haley Duff.
When did I record any of this? And then they saw the animation and went, oh god, please do not attach my name to this whatsoever.
I'm just gonna say it, Lawrence Kasanoff, he needs a big old bonk to go to horny jail.
Bonk.
This
Or horny jail.
this is probably the horniest cartoon I've ever watched in my entire life.
There were
It's
parts
so
of this
bad.
where, like, I've seen edgier things than a hentai movie.
No, gross.
I mean, Cameron has shown me edgier things than a hentai movie.
God damn it.
Please make sure that's
just-
the one that stays in.
No,
Anything
No.
that, like, Wayne Brady's character...
it is gross. This movie is so gross for a kids movie because the sexual references are just so overt and in your face that it's impossible to miss them. Like other
Yeah.
movies definitely have some like little like tongue-in-cheek type references, or like, oh, if you're an adult you get that, but it would fly right over kids' heads, you know. This one is just like
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
like so
Chicks
much
dig chocolate.
Yeah, it's gross. It's
There's some
actually
stains you can never
oh my
wash
God.
out,
I can't
Cam.
believe they thought that this was appropriate for kids.
I don't know.
Also,
that-
is there a rating on this movie?
1.5 out of 10.
No, like a
PG.
It's rated PG. If you were curious, this movie's rated PG.
1980s PG. Wait, how about it hits the climax of the movie, and it takes like 2 seconds. Like Dex shoots his fucking like his batarang like spork
Yeah.
thing up a wall. Then he pulls down something and explodes all this shit, and then he's on top of the roof.
Yes, quick cuts.
Somehow gets inside with sunshine.
All quick cuts.
It explains. It never explains how we get to any of this, but
No. Also, the like last 30 minutes of the movie was the fight at the end of it, like the big like I don't know, like the fight between the Nazis and the rest of the food.
the Ikes.
And it was like entirely. I mean, the entire movie was too long, but that part in particular was so long.
What's crazy is the fact that it's too long and it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah. But this definitely should have been like a less than hour like kids movie on like Nickelodeon or something. If it was going to be done at all, but it wasn't that.
I would be interested in, like, the original cut of this movie if the shit hadn't been stolen. And,
Is
like,
it
to
better?
see how normal of a kid's movie it would have been.
I'd be curious to see what the fact that had they actually animated it the way that they originally intended, what it would look like.
Yeah, we should really get the Kasanoff cut for this one.
Or maybe if you, like, closed
HBO
your eyes while the movie was on, you would have enjoyed it more.
You know that jerk, if he Kasanoff cut's gonna be in 4:3 in black and white.
Please.
I have a question. So Christopher Lloyd's character.
No, I will not make out with you.
What do you think his
Okay, I will.
character's name is?
Oh, the clipboard guy?
Yes. What do you
Not the
think his
clip.
character's name is?
Did they say
Clipboard
his name?
guy?
I don't have a clue.
Is his name Mr. Clipboard?
Yes. His
Oh
name
my
is
God.
Mr. Clipboard. The Brand X guy who comes
Wow.
in and is like Leonard. Is
Oh my
Mr.
God.
Clipboard.
Nice.
Ben, you put us through something here.
Hey, I thought this was a competition, and the goal was to bring the worst movie to the show.
I'm
Oh,
not
was
gonna
it?
lie.
Was it?
We still haven't gotten to Birdemic.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I feel like I was handed a holiday and there was only one choice here.
We could do something bad if you don't want to do Harold and Kumar, Zach. We could do...
No. I'm very much looking forward to next week. And the week after.
Look, this might be one of the worst movies I've ever watched. It certainly is among them. Like, it's hard for me to like. We'll see what happens when we watch Birdemic, because that one is definitely like. Before this movie, I would say that one is definitely the worst movie I've watched. But this one might take the cake. We'll see how I feel 2 weeks from now when we watch Birdemic: Shock and Terror.
Look, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but my dad definitely owned a knockoff Filipino Batman movie. I would watch that 100 times before I watched
God.
before I watched this again.
Knockoff Filipino Batman. I have to understand. Is it like there were like a Filipino crew and cast that were like watched the Batman movie when it came out and then immediately turned and then filmed that
No.
and then cut and then next scene? What is a Filipino Batman movie? Was it like a straight copy paste? Like, wait for Batman Beyond to come out, watch it, and then immediately go refilm Batman Beyond?
1991 Filipino musical comedy film.
It's a musical comedy Batman movie, and I would watch it 100 times before I watch it.
Aliyah is Batman and Robin. How did they get the rights to do this?
I have no idea.
I clicked the
probably
Wikipedia plot. It gave me an error. It says this article needs a plot summary. Ben, get your dad. This is a weekend project. He's gonna fill in a Wikipedia article.
Yeah, the only problem is it's in Philippines. No one knows. I don't even
okay.
understand what they're saying.
What were your favorite quotes of the movie? Were there ones that
I like the one where Daredevil Dan asks, "Are those melons real?" And then the woman's just like holding watermelons
Out
up
of
to her chest
nowhere.
and just starts throwing
Out
them.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know they wrote that specifically for that line.
Well,
There's
of course,
no
yeah.
other reason they wrote that scene than to find a way to put that in there.
Dude, all of the like Casablanca references were so cringy. They weren't even like casual. 'Cause so many movies reference like Casablanca, but this one was so bad.
They probably just
I'm not
going to
be puppy whipped, you cold farted bitch. Or sorry, cold farted itch. It's PG.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
PG 2002 PG.
I'd like to butter your muffin, again said by Daredevil Dan.
A classic.
Let strawberry jam out of here. And there were also like a lot of like movie quotes that they like turned into food puns, you know, like the frankly my dear I don't give a spam, right? I think is what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the Casablanca
Of all the
quotes.
produce bars and
Yeah.
all the supermarkets in all the world, she walked into mine.
Yes. I'm going to pop your corn, lady.
No, hang on.
You better go easy on the potato juice before you get chip-faced.
The closing line of the movie. Dex is Jewish? Yeah, kosher. Soy vey. Who knew?
Oh my god.
But soy vey is said by the Japanese.
How did you
dragon
get in
guy.
out of the store? You're an Ike. Humans, when you look like this, you can get them to do anything. Size only counts for men.
Oh, that was the line we missed.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
There's a lot of lines like that go by in like children's movies.
Oh, and Lady X also says at some point, chicks dig chocolate, in
Yeah.
reference to Daredevil Dan.
Yeah. Wow.
I always knew you were damaged goods, she slaps Dex. Dex, dog detective, retorts, I'm not the one who's going to be puppy whipped, you cold-farted itch.
There's a lot of farts in this movie too. A lot of fart humor, but it's overdone.
It's also not good.
No.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's literally just like one character will fart on the other.
Yeah, but did you notice they're always jumping farts?
Yeah.
And the farts are always
the funniest
perfectly
ones.
timed at the apex of the jump.
You didn't know that?
That's
Jump
impressive.
farts are the funny-
Have you guys ever done that before? I've never been able to perfectly time a fart at the apex of a jump.
It's really hard. It's usually like right before or right
You'd
after.
think it would like lift you up a little bit longer.
Depends
It
on
would
how you're
keep
seated.
you in the air.
But they were perpendicular to the ground. Their buttholes, I mean.
So you'd think they'd propel forward.
Yeah, exactly.
But they did not, which just shows the poor animation of the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, makes sense.
Checks out.
So this week's podcast is brought to you by Surfside Sips. They make high-impact glass straws. They're a family-owned company. And what's better than saving the turds, you know?
The turds.
The turds.
You know, I'm one of those people who hates using paper straws. Paper straws fucking
Paper straws suck.
I
They are
love
the worst
what
solution.
they do. I love that we're minimizing the use of plastic straws. I enjoy that. Paper straws suck ass.
They suck. They're the worst possible solution because turns out, guess what? Paper and water don't fucking mix, okay? I don't know who came up with it, but it doesn't work. Even though they put coating on it to try and help, it doesn't work. It just gets soggy and you end up throwing it away anyway, and that's just more waste. And so,
But you know what doesn't get soggy? Glass.
yeah.
Glass straws from Surfside Sips. And if you want to get some glass straws from Surfside Sips, you can use coupon code cocktails and classics spelled out That's Cocktails, A-N-D, Classics, for 20% off your order.
And if you're looking for a business to support during this time, seems like a good idea.
A little bit of a tradition around here. Zach takes over and puts us through a quiz about the movie. And I'm scared to know what you have for us this week on Foodfight.
Question number 1. In the beginning of the movie, Dex, who plays a dog-like character, and Sunshine, who plays a cat-like character, sit down for a very fancy dinner. The table is covered with grapes, a carton of milk, ice cream with a fudge topping. So the question is, which of those items is fatal to both dogs and cats? A, raisins, B, chocolate, or C, milk?
It's a good question because I feel like chocolate is at least fatal to dogs, but maybe not cats. I'm going to go with raisins as my answer. I feel like there's definitely a trope of cats drinking milk.
It's not good for cats, though.
Oh.
Dylan, who does own himself a cat, might be the only cat owner in the room.
I think it's chocolate or raisins, but I'm going to say raisins.
I do think it's raisins as well.
I was going to say raisins. I know grapes are bad for dogs. I don't know shit about cats, but it's weirdly specific that it was raisins, and not grapes. So I'm going to say that's one of the reasons why.
All right, I see where we're going. Zach has been swept. The answer was raisins. Everybody gets a point. All right.
Nice.
I have not been swept on a trivia, but this might be the first time. Question number 2, after everybody is tied with a point, which character is responsible for saying the phrase, quote, "Being filthy can be loads of fun"? Is it A, Dex, dog detective, B,
No.
Lady X, or C, Daredevil Dan?
Oh, I see. If anything, I would have thought it was that creepy general who liked soiling himself.
I was gonna say Mr. Clean. I feel like.
Does Mr. Clean say
What's the
anything
quote?
in the
Can you
movie?
repeat the quote? No, he does not.
Yeah, the quote is, just so you can have this audio bit of me saying it. The quote is, "Being filthy can be loads of fun." And for an
I
extra
mean, it's
dollar,
got to be Mrs. X.
for an
right?
extra $1, I'll put your name at the end of it.
What is this? A cameo now?
Okay. It's got to be Mrs. X, right?
You can have Zach from the Cocktails and Classics podcast say, quote, "Being filthy can be loads of fun" for $1, and he'll add your name at the end of it.
Wow.
So far, he's made $0.
We're still recording though.
I am gonna say Mrs. X. It feels like she would say that kind of shit in the movie. I don't remember though. We just watched it, but I don't know.
That's what I want to say as well. Being filthy can be kind of fun.
No, being
Loads.
filthy can be loads of
Loads of fun.
Then it sounds like it's gotta be Lady X because she's like a fucking dishwasher or some shit. Washing machine, whatever.
Yeah.
If it helps, you have
She's
no
detergent.
shot. Nobody here has a shot at question 3 or the tiebreaker.
I'm gonna say Lady X as well. I hate to just follow Cameron,
Cameron has been trailblazing.
but it does align too much with her like overtly sexual stuff, but also she's like a dishwasher detergent.
Right.
I think it's Lady X, and she says it right after her and Daredevil Dan leave the Copa Banana Club,
That is
and
correct.
then she winds up in Dex's whatever office, and then when they're sitting there talking,
The kinky
she says it.
schoolgirl outfit.
Yes.
That is correct. So another question where I have gotten swept on. Maybe that's the meme in April.
Getting swept can be loads of fun.
I feel very good about this one. Question
Okay.
number 3. Which of the following bands appears on the Foodfight soundtrack? Is it A, The Dad's Party?
What?
B, oh,
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Okay,
my
B
God.
might not be right.
oh hang on. You're
B's
lucky.
either really wrong or really right.
You're lucky I got through A. Hang on.
Is this Lawrence Kasanoff's band?
He's like trying to compose
You guys
himself.
can't. You guys can't laugh. You have to mute yourselves. Otherwise, I'll never get through it.
I can't guarantee that.
Just go on mute so we can get the audio.
All right.
So I'm never gonna be able to say
All
this.
right. Yeah, go through it. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Is it A, the dad's party? B, okay, dad.
What was that one?
We got as far as okay, Dad, you're something.
Oh my god.
I believe in you. You can
The
do
best
it.
part is that we muted and he still just he got through two words and just lost it. Okay, Dad, you're
The thing is, Cam just zoomed right past the song credits.
The credits would have given the answer away.
Oh.
A, the dad's party. B,
He can't do it.
B, okay, dad, you're clean now.
Wait, okay, Dad, you're clean now? Oh my god. What the fuck?
Or C, the swamp daddies.
So, B is okay, Dad, you're clean now.
Yes. Or the swamp daddies.
Two of those are made up. I want you to know 2 of those are made up. Okay. The dad's party. B, okay, Dad, you're clean now. Or C, the swamp daddies.
Look, I gotta go with okay, Dad, you're clean now. It's the only answer that makes any sense in this nonsensical world.
Another Casablanca reference.
I'm gonna go with
make
okay, Dad,
sense,
you're clean now.
Yeah, it does make sense though. That's the way I was leading, Cam. I don't know. Swamp Daddies sounds a little too like country bumpkin.
Yeah.
What was the first one? The
The
daddy.
dad's party. Don't make me say them again.
The dad's party.
The dad's party. B, okay, Dad, you're clean now. Or C, the swamp daddies. There, it took me 10 tries, but I did it.
I'm gonna say A, the dad's party.
Oh, god damn you, Dylan. I was also gonna say A, the dad's party.
Well, you know what that means, boys. Zach has gotten his revenge. You all got it wrong. It is
It's
the
Swamp
the
Daddies?
Swamp Daddies?
Swamp
Oh my
Daddies
God.
it is. But the good news is, you all have 2 points, which is fucking wild, heading into the tiebreaker. So, typical format, closest without going over. How many crotch shots are in the movie?
God, there's
did
so
you
many in
count?
this stupid movie.
I have tally marks on my notebook.
Oh my god.
About 15 minutes in, I decided this was going to be a trivia question and the tiebreaker.
Well, like the shot is like where they zoom in on the crotch. Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to?
yeah, we're like most of the scene is a crotch of a character.
I mean, I'm gonna say like 10. That feels like a lot, but
3.
there were a lot of crotch
There
shots.
were. 3 might be too low, but it's also playing it safe.
I'm gonna say 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron takes home the win. It is
Wow.
11 crotch shots
Whoa.
Yes.
in this children's movie. 11 total
Yes.
crotch shots.
I didn't want to win this title, but you know, you don't choose the wins choose you.
Cam
You
is
paid the
crotch
most
king.
attention to how many crotch shots were in a child's movie. Way to go, bud. Hold that crown with pride.
Yes.
Cameron, your crotch now.
Some dudes are just built different.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, exactly.
Those of us who have seen this movie we hold a special place in our heart. But none of us have seen this piece of shit before. So now you're gonna get our fresh ratings
All right.
on
Yeah.
Foodfight.
I'll go out on a limb.
Cam,
I'll say this movie will make our top 5 of season 3.
Well, I'm going to start off in the opposite direction of that remark. This is bad. This is really, really bad. And some parts were enjoyable bad, but it was mostly just bad. And on top of that, it was also like racist and homophobic and anti-Semitic. Like for a kids movie, it's just so odd. The animation is like tied for the worst part about this movie because it is literally unfinished. The movie looks awful. It looks worse than like 1990s CGI, and that's like bad. And this took place 10 years later, or at least it released 10 years later. We don't really know exactly when these animations were made. I suppose sometime between 2004 and 2011. So this movie gets a 1. I'm gonna go lower. It gets a 0.5. I don't believe in 0-star ratings, but I will give it a 0.5 out of 10. This is the worst movie we've watched so far. There's still time, but this is the worst one we've watched so far. I would much rather watch the Star Wars Christmas special like 5 times before watching this one again.
here's the thing. I gave Star Wars a 0.5 out of 10. And I'm going to have to give this a 0.
No!
There is such thing as lower than a half.
Oh, man.
This movie it wasn't redeeming in any way. I mean, I got to just ball with my bros, And that was the best part, We suffered together.
Yeah.
The animation is horrifying. Charlie Sheen is emotionless as the dog. Every line is just a shitty food pun or like a creepy, like sexually erotic, like flirt. The sound quality just like cuts. Like Dex is always like nice and crisp and clean, but every other side character, like halfway through the movie, their audio just becomes super shitty, and maybe that's
It's like they recorded in like a van or something. Different vans for each character.
I was thinking about it while watching it. My theory is that maybe the original audio files got stolen and that they had to like recover the audio files from like, something else. Or they had to re-record them and they didn't have a good studio.
Yeah, this is... Please don't watch it, but if you really want to, you can on YouTube. I cannot sleep at night if I recommend you to watch this movie.
Yeah, I painted myself pretty poorly into a corner when we did the Star Wars movie because I gave that turd a 0, and I thought for sure it can't get worse. Boy, do those words haunt me now. Because I'm here to tell you, people, it can. If you did not heed my warning from the Star Wars special and watched it and said, wow, he was right, heed this warning. Stay away. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put yourself through it. We did it for you. We did it so you could enjoy this podcast instead. Just don't. I wish I could give it negative reviews, like a negative out of 10, but I think that's too far. I give it a 0. There was little to no effort put into this movie, I feel like, from anyone. Maybe some of like the tertiary voice actors who needed the work. I also think this movie...
put this on my reel.
Well, I just also think this movie goes to prove there's been a quote I've heard where it's like, not all
Okay,
actors...
Dad, you played now?
Not all actors can be voice actors. Like, it's a very different medium, and I feel like Charlie Sheen just put pen to paper to prove that quote immediately. It's bad. Don't do it. Just, if you're looking for something to watch, see if you can find alias Batman-y Robin, the Filipino Batman film from 1991. Higher quality than this movie. Guaranteed.
Being the ringer, I will say that I firmly believe in a 1 to 10 rating system. And this movie pushed my beliefs in that system to the edge. I will give this movie a 1 purely because it was made, people put effort into it, and it became a thing that I was able to watch on YouTube. And
For
for
free.
those,
If
for
I had to
those
pay for money.
reasons, it deserves a 1. If you asked me to pay any money for this, I would not have done it. But it deserves a 1 because it was made. And that's it.
If Zach weren't making that sweet, sweet pod money to watch that movie, he never would have watched it.
If I wasn't able to show up on Thursday nights and give you guys questions like, okay, your dad is clean now. Literally came up with that halfway through the movie. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to say this.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, if you were wondering, Foodfight is the lowest rated movie at a average rating of 0.38 out of 10.
It's like half
That's
the score of
higher-
the Star Wars special.
That's also higher than it is on IMDb by like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Or IMDb's higher is what I meant. IMDb's higher by
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
Well, that's because we don't have any of those bullshit spam 10s coming out of here.
You get the true facts here in the Cocktails and Classics podcast.
If you enjoyed this, don't forget to rate and subscribe.
Or if you enjoyed your hot dog water cocktail.
Tell us how it was. Do not watch Food Fight, but maybe. There will be a
No.
link in the show notes below if you choose to suffer.
Can we link to the YouTube video?
I can. Check us out next week. It's the 420 special, Harold and Kumar.
Most importantly, is hot dog water a broth or a water?
Review us and rate us on Apple. Follow and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen. Share us with your friends and family. And as always, watch responsibly.